Hey everybody, it is Russ from Kilt and Cork, and really excited about tonight's show. I'm really happy to be back at one of my favorite places. And if you can kind of see behind me, we're in a new tasting room. It is the new addition to Dry Diggings Distillery. So that is where we're coming to you live from Dry Diggings Distillery. I see they had a graphic, but we don't have a graphic up right now. So anyways, my producer's sleeping. Now she's awake. We'll get her some booze from Dry Diggings Distillery, and we will definitely keep going with our show. Anyways, it's really cool. It's this whole steampunk look with these really cool light fixtures, and there's some these cabinets are like really awesome that he got from somewhere. I don't know where he got them from, but they installed this new tasting room so that they can feature some of their other brands, which we're going to talk about one of them tonight, which is very cool. And just so you wonder what I'm sipping on something that my friend out there, Michael, he turned us on to this California Central whiskey. It's a beer mash whiskey, and that's kind of what I'm sipping on now until we get into our cocktail here. But it's such a unique flavor profile. It's amazing. Very light. It's got some caramel. And there's definitely some hoppiness to it, which is very cool. So I highly recommend you guys coming down here to Dry Diggings Distillery again. But tonight we're not going to really be talking so much about Dry Diggings Distillery as we're going to be talking about one of my friends who I'm doing a collaboration with. And I'll get to her in a second. First, I want to talk about a collaboration that's going to be coming up that you can be looking for. And that's going to be a 12 Days of Christmas collaboration with Molly Lagoy. So Molly Lagoy is the hungry dater out of Reno, a friend of mine. And she is not only a foodie person, but she loves making cocktails, much like my guest tonight. And we decided to do a 12 days of holiday cocktails that we're going to share with you starting on December 13th. So look for that on both thehungrydater.com, and she's also on Facebook as The Hungry Dater. But most of her stuff you'll find on Instagram as The Hungry Dater. And again, that's going to be the 12 Days of Christmas Cocktails. But speaking of collaborations, my guest tonight is none other than Lesli Bohm. Come on, Lesli, come on over. And she has a company called Libations by Lesli, correct?
Yes.
Cheers. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking, he called it the Rubicon.
The Rubicon whiskey.
I didn't hear what's in it. It's very tasty.
It's a rye. That's a rye. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I think there's a lot of people out there that really enjoy the Rubicon. So
just enough sweet.
Yeah.
Not too much heat. It's really good.
Look at that. That's like someone who knows about booze. So Lesli Bohm is my guest tonight. And she, like I said, her company is Libations by Lesli. And that's libationsbylesli.com. Do you have a website up?
I don't have a website.
Facebook?
I do have a Facebook.
Okay.
It's at Libations by Lesli.
Okay.
And I might have a website eventually one day, but Facebook's the easy start.
So Facebook is where you want to find her, and she's got all kinds of cool stuff to talk about. But first, we're going to talk about her a little bit and find out exactly who Lesli is.
Absolutely. I'm a 3-year Californian here. We moved here from Chicago. We moved here from Texas, and that's where I'm from, and that's where I got all of my liquor knowledge, spirit knowledge, wine knowledge.
I have to interrupt you. Are you a Dallas Cowboys fan?
I am. A girl from
Go
Fort
Dallas.
Worth, Texas.
Hey, you know what? And we're missing the game right now. It's a big game tonight, so we'll have to catch it later.
Hopefully that we can beat New Orleans.
I hope so.
We'll see how that goes.
All right, so you're a native Texan.
Yes.
All right.
And in my time there, I after college, I had a little too much fun. I went to Ole Miss. I'm a rebel. And with that said, I didn't quite make it all the way through school. And what do you do when you don't do that? You might end up bartending somewhere.
Okay.
And I ended up in Austin, Texas, and I bartended there for about 3 years. And then I moved back to Fort Worth, my hometown, and bartended there another 7 years. So I got 10 years of bartending behind my belt, which helped introduce me to brands and spirits, and cocktail mixology didn't really exist then. This was, well, we won't say how long ago it was, but you'll probably figure it out in a little bit if I give you some more years of experience.
She's super, like, what, you're 28 or something, I think.
Yes, 28. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And at around 30, I decided I didn't want to be behind the bar anymore. I wanted to help people from the other side, and I switched and started working for some distributors.
Okay.
And doing that, I actually had to sell Tito's vodka when no one wanted it, made in its home state. That was really hard if you think about how many people carry
Yeah.
that brand now, and
Yeah.
I love that brand. I was begging on my knees, please carry this Texas vodka.
So,
anyway,
so she knows her stuff. I'm glad you're here with me tonight. So she's going to make a cocktail for us that has a little bit of a history to it.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So, we were coming in and fastly approaching 2019.
2019, yeah. Boy, I'm
And-
glad it's not 1919. That would
That
suck.
would be horrible,
Yeah.
because Prohibition would start the next year.
Yep.
And
And
the real
that would
Prohibition was on December 5th, 1933, 13 years later. So Russ and I kind of talked about maybe wanting to not promote a cocktail, but give you a cocktail that you could make at home, maybe make it on December 5th and celebrate that we are not stuck in that time.
Thank God.
With Dry Diggins Distillery and them letting us just be here, we tried a couple of their gins and we decided the Equatorial was the best one to kind of go with. And Chris said that it definitely stands up to a cocktail.
Excellent.
If you think about what went into cocktails in Prohibition time, not a lot, because the gin and other spirits that were being illegally made were very
bathtub gin,
bad,
I guess. What I hear,
and you
some of
needed
that
things
stuff.
to cover them up. And what covers things up more than something sweet like grenadine?
Gotcha.
So we're going to make the Pink Lady.
Oh, excellent.
And the Pink Lady only has about 3 ingredients. The history of the cocktail goes back to possibly a woman that was a prominent society woman that was born in the 1860s. Some people say it was 1911, named after the Broadway show called The Pink Lady in honor of Hazel Dawn, who was the main actress, and she was the Pink Lady.
Okay.
And then it kind of goes from there, and it's got a bunch of different names and been tweaked over the years, but we're going to stick with the original 3 things, I think, that go in there.
All right. So you're going to drag some glasses over here. And this glass, it looks like looks like it's from 1919.
That's we looked it up. That's etched glass. That's probably more traditional in the time. It would have been an expensive piece, but I've even just found one at a thrift store. So if you're going to have a party or something like that, and you want to kind of play up the theme, go shop at a thrift store. You'll find some stuff.
Excellent. So I'll remind you guys that, again, I'm Russ from Kilt Cork, and I'm with Lesli Bohm from Libations by Lesli. And I want to encourage you, if you have any questions for our resident expert bartender, mixologist, feel free to ask questions about cocktails or liquor or anything. And she will definitely answer that, or I can try and answer it for you too. So she's making a Pink Lady for us to taste here.
Yes. So we start out with 1.5 ounces of gin, closer to a London Dry. There's a lot of floral gins that are out there these days, but not too floral. And an Old Tom gin will kind of be too sweet. So try to do a basic run-of-the-mill flavor palette on your gin. Not too much of either direction.
So is that like 2 ounces of gin?
1.5 ounces of gin. If you saw me keep pouring that, this is one of those spouts that has the little ball that it stops. So that's why I kept, that was 1.5 ounces.
All right.
We are going to, I'm going to see if I can not screw this up. We're going to take an egg white. Why they put eggs in their drinks in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, I don't know, but they still.
Hey, if you guys know the answer to that, reply to that. Why is it that you put an egg white in a cocktail? And I think there's a lot of craft cocktails that are made with an egg white.
Yes, they are.
And so it does sound kind of interesting, but if you happen to know that answer, we'd be curious to hear it.
Yes. So
she's doing a great job. I like it.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's not a fun process, but we get it there.
It works.
And then we're going to, so traditionally you would use the really red grenadine that, you see that go in whiskey, whiskey sours and things like that. But the Luxardo cherries have really come back into popularity. They're expensive. So if you don't want to buy these, you can use regular grenadine. Use about a teaspoon of grenadine. Our Pink Lady is going to be a little more purplish just because the color of the juice that's in here.
Cool.
So we're going to put these things in here.
Excellent.
Got the egg white, got the gin, got the cherry. We're going to shake it up. You actually shake it without any ice first. Woo! And then you add your ice.
So is that to get the egg emulsified in there and kind of get it? Okay.
Because if you're doing all your shaking ahead of time, and then you do it with the ice at the beginning, you're going to get your drink watered down maybe a little more than you want.
Very cool.
I realized that I didn't quite pour enough. There's enough for 2, but not 2 full cocktails.
So while she's pouring that, I wanted to say hi to some people out there. Michael and Beverly House, you guys, thank you for joining us. Stacy, thank you for joining us. Aaron, Kathy's out there. Jody Lynn, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And watching us make a cocktail and drinking it live. That's
Yes.
the best part of this job
Yes.
is getting to taste all this
If
stuff.
we were still in Prohibition, we wouldn't be having any of this.
Well, we would, but it'd be illegal, and we'd be looking for the popo out
Yes, we would be
So,
looking for the popo.
yeah.
Cheers.
there. Cheers.
So here's our pink lady that's a little bit purple.
A little bit
but
purple.
That's okay.
Very cool. Okay, so it looks like Stacy said egg whites are used strictly for the texture, as they're odorless and tasteless, used basically for rich, creamy feature with foamy. So I can totally see that.
That's exactly the case. Thank you for answering that. One of the other versions of this drink removes the egg white and they add sweet cream in to get that same texture. So
That's delicious. It really is. And the gin, like she said, it's not overpowering. It's not overly floral. It's kind of a nice little, a little bit
it's
of
a
a
soft
flavor.
palate. And
Definitely.
it's also not, you don't feel like you're drinking a Christmas tree, which no one really wants to do that, even
Yeah.
though it is holiday time.
And you do get the cherry taste too. So there's a little bit of that sweetness in there. This is
Definitely.
delicious. Definitely delicious. Okay, so tell me a little bit about Libations by Lesli. What is that all about? What do you do?
Well, with the experience that I had, my 10 years of bartending, and I worked for a distributor selling beer, wine, and spirits for 9 years. My husband, who's in the other room, and I actually thought about what could I offer as a service and put that knowledge to use. And our plan was for all the people that are out there that plan private parties. They might get a caterer, they might get a decorator, and they'll get some alcohol, but they don't put any effort into really making it as important as the rest of the components of the
Why
event.
would you not make the alcohol important? What is wrong
People
with people?
don't, though. You know, you run to the store quick and get a bottle of Chardonnay and whatever vodka you can grab, and people just don't pay as much attention. So part of Libations is to help you find better brands. I have partnerships with some local wineries with discounts for their events. If you have a themed party, like maybe you're doing a Prohibition party, help design some cocktails for you. Another thing too, when you go in the liquor store these days, the amount of brands is overwhelming, and I can help you narrow that down and help you pick out what you're trying to find in your price point, or if it's a popular brand or whatnot. And then I also bartend for people as well. So I can also be at your party as well as help you with your party.
That's outstanding. I mean, who would not want Lesli there pouring and making your drinks? I think that's very cool. So when people are planning their holiday parties coming up, if I know a lot of people are probably in the process or probably already have them planned out, but maybe they're watching this and thinking, wow, I really didn't think a lot about my alcohol
cocktail
choices and my cocktail. And I mean, people out there, if you're going to someone's house and you're drinking, you remember what they served. You remember that the cocktails and the wine.
Was it the really bad Chardonnay or that really expensive
Chuba
bottle of
Chuck?
wine that they got out?
So how can they get a hold of you if they want to hire you to do this?
I have a couple options. So we mentioned before that I am on Facebook, / Libations by Lesli. I'm also on Instagram with the same name. My email is my full name. It's lesli.bohm@gmail.
Cool.
I have a Pinterest page. I give you my cell phone number, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I don't
put
think
that
you,
one
yeah,
out there.
no,
But you can
bad
certainly
idea.
email me or PM me on Facebook is the easiest way to do it.
Excellent. So one of the things that Lesli and I are going to be doing, again, talking about collaborations, since she is an amazing bartender, and the holidays are what people do. They drink, right? They have cocktail parties and stuff. So Lesli is going to be doing a 5 cocktail series with me around New Year's. And we're going to feature some easy to make cocktails that people can do at their New Year's Eve parties.
Yes, that's the key word is easy. So going back to this Prohibition thing we talked about, there was a drink called a 1919 that was really popular in 1919. And it would have cost over $100 to buy all the spirits needed just to make that cocktail. No one's going to do that, and I don't want you to do that. So the cocktails that we pick for the 5 ones that we'll have for a New Year's feature will be things that are not too expensive, easy to make, and you might already have some of these things already in your house.
Very cool. And they'll be memorable for sure.
Yes.
Definitely. So look for that probably in the time frame before New Year's. We're going to be doing some collaboration and posting these cocktails. And then we're also going to post the recipe to this cocktail, the Pink Lady.
Yes.
It'll be on this feed after we're done. I'll put the link up or the link to the recipe. We'll have that up there so you guys can kind of duplicate this at home. And again, if you have any questions, now's the time. Throw them out here. We'll answer your questions about any of the cocktails or anything about spirits or
Also, let us know too if you can do it in this feed or you can do it in the other ones. If there's you got that one thing that's in your liquor cabinet that you've had it forever and you don't know what to do and you want something to do with it,
totally.
Maybe we can make that part of the New Year's featured drinks, or I'll just tell you, I'll find something for you to use with that. Being a liquor rep for a long time, I had to sell a lot of brands, and I have a lot of random things in my cabinet, so I understand the purpose of
that bottle of Ouzo or something that's sitting in there, and
using what you have.
I need to know what to do with that
For sure.
So Leslie, thank you so much for this cocktail. Cheers. And you know what? A toast that we're not in prohibition anymore, because I think we'd probably both be in jail or
it's possible
avoiding the law. Because I mean, who doesn't want to have cocktails at the holidays? So just stay right here with me and we'll look for some questions. I just kind of wanted to go over a couple more things before we get the end of our show. First off, I wanted to thank Aaron Provincial for winning our cookie exchange house party takeover. We're going to be doing that tomorrow night. So cheers, Aaron. We're going to be crashing your house with winemakers from Les Moulins Rouges down in Sutter Creek.
Very nice.
They're really excited to come out, and we're just going to eat cookies and drink bubbles and wine. So
I should send you a cocktail cookie flavored recipe to use.
That would be good. Yeah, we could do that. I'll share it with them. And then if you want to enter for our next party that we're going to have, we're not going to do anything in December because it's just too crazy. Everyone's already having parties in December. So we're going to wait until January. And towards the end of January, we're going to do kind of a traditional cocktail party. And it probably might be good to bring you in on that to formulate some cocktails, because we are going to be using Dry Diggings Distillery. They are going to be featuring the alcohol that we're going to use for that party. And they've assured me that one of them is going to be there to talk about their creations, like this California Central Whiskey, which is on sale here only.
Yes.
And it's only this one batch. So if you want this, definitely come down. Yeah, you got to do it because these cocktails are outstanding. So that's going to be in January. So be sure to watch for that so that you can enter.
For all the people that don't really want to do a New Year's resolution, and you're not going to spend all your time in the gym, and you're not going to cut out bread and alcohol and all those things, we got you covered.
That's right. We're going to help you out with that so we can have some crazy cocktails. Our next show next week, we are still, it's one of those, again, where it's going to be secret. We don't know where it's going to be yet. So if you are out there watching and you'd like to talk to us, I will tell you this, though. This venue right here that we're in, I'm actually considering this might be one of our home court, where we are broadcasting from this amazing place. And it's just really cool. I love this background. I mean, it's these cabinets and everything.
The cabinets are great.
Yep. So this might be the go-to place when we have guests like Leslie on, and I think it's very cool. Last, I just want to make sure that I remind you to please follow Leslie on Facebook and Instagram.
Please do. You got to share the word.
Leslie. Yep, absolutely. And make sure that you're following Kilt Cork. Follow us on Instagram, like our page on Facebook. That's the only way you're going to be able to enter for our contests and know when our shows are and kind of know where we're going to be throughout the month. December is probably going to be a little bit slower because everyone's involved and stuff. But come January, we're going to hit it again real hard and be out there doing all kinds of stuff. Our next house party takeover is going to be the winter cocktail, like I said. So look for that coming up. And really, I think that's all we've got. I mean, this has been a great show.
Yeah,
I'm glad you.
I'm glad that we got to be a part of this new room that's happening here.
Absolutely.
Being here in El Dorado Hills, we kind of get bored same places sometimes, and you kind of. On a rainy night they're closed right now, but rainy day in the afternoon, what's something different that I could go do? You've got a distillery sitting right here and you might as well go take advantage of it.
It's a cool place. And like I said, this tasting room, they expanded. It's a real cool steampunk theme. They've got some amazing liquor here that they make. In fact, they're making some right now as we speak. They're actually working and they're distilling. So we're getting that amazing aroma and some of that stuff going on. So thank you very much to our host, Dry Diggings Distillery, for allowing us to do our show here. And again, Leslie, thank you for being on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. Cheers again.
Is that people searching the 1919 cocktail?
That's our technical side of it. So that's just up there. Cool question. Okay. Looking at our monitor.
Well,
it's up there. I think we're drinking too much. It's time for us to sign off.
Cheers.
Cheers, you guys. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next Thursday at 5:30 on Kilt Cork Live. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud. Thank you, Leslie.
You bet.